Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Perry, Katie Perry. Basically, I'm here to advocate for consumption space. I'm a non-consumer. I have grandchildren. I've kind of entered the fray of this because I noticed the generation beneath me, almost all in my family, they do consume, not all, but enough for me to do some research, consume marijuana daily. So I've taken an interest. I'm here today to advocate and urge you to consider and make your decisions on what is best for public health. And by public, I mean consumers, retailers, the general public at large, which includes families and all, of all ages. In my house, I have one marijuana consumer, but I also have grandchildren in my house. I've never noticed the marijuana consumer smoking in the room or even smoking in the house. He goes outside. So, but I do smell it because I know what it is, but they don't. And they've been living with me since birth. The oldest one is 9, so that's 9 years. It's important to remember that 2 decades ago, the voters approved cannabis. And so basically, cannabis, which is an herb, which was once prescribed, they did medical marijuana, as you already know, you used to have to get a prescription from it. So the change now is that it's now an over-the-counter herb. So it's important that we don't create problems where they don't really exist. Marijuana is simply legal. Cannabis is legal. So your job, and ours collectively, is to make sure that we blend this or integrate this process in where it's beneficial to all. So I would advocate that you wouldn't apply any rules that would limit the ability of small and micro enterprises to get off the ground and to thrive. The cannabis industry is thriving. There are large companies that are just really doing well because it's now legalized. But there are equity applicants and future equity applicants and applicants that don't even know they're applicants now, who are coming from the trauma of the war on drugs, and now they're eligible to legally engage in the sale of marijuana, but they don't even know yet because they have not yet done enough research and not yet realized where they fit in now, because now it's a whole city process. So my request to you is, it's hard enough being a regular business person. I'm an entrepreneur. I've had several companies, and going through the hoops of becoming legal and doing your thing can be very trying, even when there's no legal challenges. There hasn't even been a history of prohibition. But in this particular case, I know that there are many people in the community who would love to get into the business of the cannabis industry in many different ways, don't know how. And they have been in the industry, which has thrived long before it became legal. So I'm just asking, as you make your decisions, cannabis is an herb. It's not a drug somebody cooked up, in a spoon, but it is an herb, so it's a natural product. Now that the citizens of California and other places in the nation say we want to make sure that it's legal, then I would respectfully ask that you help us get over the fact that it was once an illegal substance and it wouldn't be treated like a drug. It would be treated more like an herb, like ashwagandha, like haritaki herbs. And these are herbs that are very potent. And I admit that cannabis is potent. But I think with the right checks and balances in place, we'll do fine. Thank you. Thank you.
Morris Kelly. I am a San Francisco native and a verified equity applicant. I'm here to say that I'm for the standalone permit for on-site consumption. As being a verified equity applicant, I am also an entrepreneur that plans on being in this industry and participating in San Francisco. And I do see having a separate license that gives somebody like me an opportunity to actually achieve it very important, not only just to the city, but also to the community, to allow places for consumption that would alleviate a lot of the problems that I've been hearing before. A lot of the things I've been hearing is they don't want it on the street, they don't like the smell, and by providing safe locations, kind of like a bar, where you don't want people drinking on the street, you provide a nice atmosphere for them, where it's safe for the consumption of that product. I don't see why we shouldn't have it for marijuana as well. Thank you.
Michelle? Hi, I just want to thank everybody for being here and listening to us. I think it's very important to be able to hear everyone speak and to really understand what the community wants and is looking for. I was born and raised in San Francisco. My daughter goes to school in San Francisco, and my son has a learning difference and also goes to school in San Francisco. I manage San Francisco swim team. I'm also a proud founder and CEO of a cannabis business. I think consumption is a matter of fact, and it is a part of compassion and what cannabis is. It's been part of San Francisco's history for a very long time. I think if we try to limit it, we're segregating cannabis even further from what it is, and we're actually only creating a prejudice to cannabis even more. And we're only creating a stigma more to what it is. I think we need to integrate it into what we're doing and allow everyone who's part of San Francisco to be able to participate in it. Personally, I had a business in San Francisco with cannabis, but I had to move it partly out of San Francisco because it was too expensive for me to operate in it. Being part of San Francisco my whole life, it was really painful for me to have to do that. I would love to continue to be in San Francisco because everything I do is here. And I know so many other people have the same situation and deserve to be here. And so many people, part of the equity program, deserve to be here and should be here. It's just so expensive. Consumption is a crucial part of what the cannabis industry is. It's part of the healing process. And I know a lot of people's concern is children consuming cannabis. One of the major things in the industry is that they would never let that happen. We risk too much to be here. We have children of our own. We know what it is and we know how to control it. I also want to say that one of the things, consumption if we don't have consumption places, then the risk is that cannabis is going to be on the streets and it's not going to be regulated. If we have places to consume and places to have communal uses, then it's regulated and it's packaged and it's in a regulated market. We need to have more consumption places and more diverse places to be able to do it and more different types of operators.
Make any public comments?
Hi, my name is Martin Olive. I'm the director and founder of Vape Room here in San Francisco. Thank you all very much for this opportunity for public comment and to discuss this very important topic. I don't have anything prepared, but as the founder of the Vape Room in Lower Haight that operated from 2004 to 2012, I can testify to the healing powers of sharing cannabis with your fellow citizens. Young, old, rich, poor, all demographics can commune together with cannabis and heal socially and share in this common love for this healing plant. I've been looking through this draft, and I gotta say, I understand the intent of what you're trying to do, but I really feel that it's overly restrictive, overly burdensome, and is going to cause more problems than it solves. Cannabis is not a taboo plant. It is not a problematic thing. It heals lives. It does not destroy them. We do not need to treat this as some sort of taboo thing that needs to be isolated away from people. This should be something that is celebrated and available, and consumption lounges and consumption spaces should be accessible to all, not just people that have larger facilities that can afford to build these weird isolated smoking room, vaping rooms that sort of segregate people for something that is a benign use of a healing plant. So I would really implore you to please take a look at these drafts again and figure out ways that you can incorporate the use of cannabis in our communities across the city and not just segregate people for something that they overwhelmingly voted to use, to approve and to use in the city and the state. Thank you.
My whole life, I've never ever seen a child walk into an adult entertainment facility. For some reason, they just won't let them in there.
to speak here. I just want to say something real quick, because I look over the different, I don't have too much of a problem with it, because my space, I'm able to accommodate, and keep in mind that I'm in the process of applying. So for me, in the process of applying, I haven't done the planning yet, so I can kind of adjust to what you guys are offering right now, which is reasonable in those constraints. Now, if I already existed, you know, and already had a license for you guys and so on and so forth, I think the way it is going to be very complicated. Now, I know you did a grandfathering piece in there, but it also requires extra requirements like a bathroom, for example, that can be very difficult to offer. Not to say that there shouldn't be a bathroom in a big room, but just to say that from a retail perspective, there's a lot of businesses in these corridors and downtown areas that don't provide a bathroom for obvious reasons. You know, they provide it to their employees, which is required, and so on and so forth. But that's not necessarily a requirement for other businesses. So I would just say with that you know, let's also, you know, make sure that we're treating cannabis businesses similar to what every other business, and not creating a separate criteria for us as retailers. I'm currently with an equity applicant partner in Bayview called CDXX, just to clarify who I am, and I'm also going to be trying to open up a vape lounge. And I don't think I should have to build a hermetically sealed location for the reasons that cannabis smoke scientifically, I think it's public health, so we may have the science on this, but scientifically between nicotine and cannabis smoke, THC for example, it's not the same compound. Like one's a covalent bond, one's a hydrogen bond. I don't want to get too deep into this, but it's not as strong, so it doesn't stick to the walls. It's not as effective as secondhand smoke in that case. And if you're talking about vaping, the science on that is across the board that there is no secondhand smoke if you're having a vape lounge at home. So I just wanted to touch on those facts that I know to be true. And I think specifically it was the filtration systems and stuff like that, like a carbon filter should be fine. A carbon filter for $500 can clear an entire room in a few minutes. So if it's indoor and you have a carbon filter, I think that it's relatively, you know, I mean, it's reasonable that you don't need partitioning, you don't need a negative pressure room to suffice and make sure that nobody else is getting that secondhand smoke. If you look into that data, you'll see that, you know, the air is being cleared with a basic carbon filter every 2 minutes, and that's easily achievable without partitioning, you know, or with just partitioning and no pressurized room where you got to build a wall and so on. I think there's just, and adding a bathroom in there is something that I would be against as a requirement, and just making that the regular planning requirement to have that ADA compliant bathroom and the other bathrooms within the facility, but not necessarily in the vape lounge. Because that, as people have been saying, can be restricted for equity applicants as well as existing MCDs that are already taking on a lot of occurring, like new compliance issues, you know, security guards that I've heard recently, for example. So there's a lot of new costs, which is up to $12,000 a month now, you know. So there's a lot of these new costs that you should consider when crafting this. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to, you know, split it out into different like A, B, and C, and try to create different types of licensing. And I would agree with her that we should expand that, right, and go for more types, maybe add 3 or more different types, you know, for just on-site consumption and or like an extended fee, some other tourism thing for hotels or something, you know, like maybe get some feedback on that, which you already kind of have, but just to spitball out that way. And that's basically it. Yeah, thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, great. If you didn't sign in, there's a sign